Hey there, friend. Let's sit down for a moment and talk about something that's not always easy to bring up, but it's important. Have you ever noticed subtle changes in someone you love? Maybe your spouse, a dear friend, or even yourself? A shift in energy, a quiet withdrawal from hobbies, or a look in their eyes that feels different? These little signs can leave us wondering, is this just part of aging, or is something deeper happening? Today, we're going to talk about 5 very subtle signs that might indicate an elderly person is entering their final year. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about fear or doom. It's about awareness, compassion, and making the most of the time we have. Whether you're a caregiver, a family member, or someone navigating your own journey, understanding these signs can help you cherish moments, offer support, and ensure dignity and love are at the forefront. Let's start with the first sign, one that's often overlooked because it creeps in so quietly. You might have seen it in someone you love, a gradual loss of interest in the things they once enjoyed. Maybe your dad, who used to light up when tending his garden, now leaves the tools untouched. Or your lifelong friend who stopped calling for your weekly coffee dates. It's more than just slowing down. This is a deep emotional withdrawal, a quiet disconnection from hobbies, relationships, even favorite foods. It's as if the spark that kept them curious about life starts to dim. Now, this doesn't mean every person who skips bingo night is in their final year. Of course not. But when that withdrawal becomes consistent, when they stop making plans altogether, it's worth paying attention. So, what can you do? Meet them where they are. Don't push. Instead, bring the joy to them. Sit with them. Share old photos. Play their favorite music. Sometimes, presence is the greatest gift. The second sign is something we've all felt from time to time, but in this context, it's more profound. A sudden increase in fatigue. Not just "I need a nap" tiredness, but a heaviness that lingers. Simple tasks, like folding laundry or walking to the mailbox, feel like climbing a mountain. You might notice them pausing halfway through a sentence to catch their breath or needing help with things they used to handle easily. Here's the thing. Fatigue like this often ties back to the body conserving energy. It's a natural shift, but it can leave loved ones feeling frustrated or even embarrassed. If you're seeing this, offer support without taking over. Let them set the pace. Maybe suggest a cozy afternoon with a blanket and a classic movie instead of an outing. Small adjustments can make a world of difference. Now, these first 2 signs, withdrawal and fatigue, are deeply connected. When someone steps back from the world, their body often follows. But there's more to this story. Let's talk about another subtle shift, one that's easy to miss if you're not looking closely. Sometimes the most telling changes aren't the ones we see right away. They're quiet, almost hidden in the rhythm of everyday life. Let's talk about the third sign, a shift that's easy to dismiss as just aging, but it's far more meaningful. Have you noticed someone picking at their food lately? Pushing their plate away after a few bites, even when it's their favorite dish? This isn't just a loss of appetite. It's the body slowing down, needing less fuel, and sometimes letting go. I remember my Aunt Clara, who used to make the best apple pie you've ever tasted. In her last year, she'd barely touch a slice. At first, we thought it was her new diet or a medication side effect. But over time, we realized it was part of a bigger picture. Food lost its appeal because her body was quietly changing. Now, this doesn't mean you should panic if your loved one skips a meal here and there. But when they consistently eat less, lose weight without trying, or even forget to eat, it's a sign to approach with kindness. So what can you do? Keep meals light and familiar. Offer small, nourishing snacks throughout the day. A handful of berries, a spoonful of yogurt, a warm cup of broth. And here's the key. Don't make it a battle. Sit with them, share a story, let the food be secondary. Sometimes the act of caring, not the calories, is what truly nourishes. Now, the fourth sign is one many of us misunderstand. It's not just sleeping more, it's a deeper kind of rest. You might notice your loved one dozing off mid-conversation, spending hours in bed, or seeming far away even when they're awake. This isn't laziness. It's the body conserving energy for what matters most, like the quiet closing of a book, one chapter at a time. My neighbor, Frank, was a lifelong early riser, but in his final months, he'd nap most afternoons. His wife, Martha, worried he was depressed, until his doctor explained that his body was simply preparing. So instead of urging him to stay awake, she'd curl up beside him with a photo album, letting him drift in and out while she reminisced. That's the gift here, adapting to their rhythm, not forcing ours. If you're seeing this, create a peaceful environment. Soft blankets, gentle light, maybe a recording of birdsong or a favorite hymn. And don't be afraid of silence. Holding space for someone's rest can be its own kind of love. These signs, loss of appetite, increased sleep, they're not just about the body, they're about the spirit too. And as we navigate them, there's one more thread to this story, a sign that's often the hardest to recognize. And finally, the fifth sign, the one that tugs at the heartstrings most of all. Have you ever sat with someone who suddenly starts revisiting old memories, like flipping through the pages of a well-loved photo album? They might talk about their childhood, long-gone friends, or even moments you've never heard about before. It's as if they're gently tying loose ends, weaving their life story into something whole. Take my grandfather, for instance. In his last year, he had spent hours telling me about the oak tree he climbed as a boy, the way the bark felt under his hands, the view from the highest branch. At the time, I didn't realize he wasn't just sharing stories. He was leaving pieces of himself behind. This longing to revisit the past, to reconnect with what once was, isn't nostalgia. It's a quiet preparation, a way of saying, this is who I was, this is who I am. If your loved one begins this journey, listen. Don't rush to fill the silence. Ask questions. Write down their stories if they're willing, and if there's a name they mention often, a friend they lost touch with, a sibling they miss, see if you can help them reconnect. Sometimes a single conversation can bring a peace they've carried for decades. Now, let's take a breath and remember. These 5 signs, withdrawal, fatigue, loss of appetite, increased sleep, and this deep dive into memory, they're not a checklist. They're whispers, gentle nudges to slow down and cherish the time we have. Maybe you've seen one of these in someone you love. Maybe you've seen all 5. Whatever the case, know this. Awareness isn't about fear. It's about love. It's about showing up in whatever way you can to honor their journey. So, what do we do with this knowledge? We lean into grace. We hold hands a little longer. We laugh over old photos. We sit in the quiet. And when the moment comes, we let gratitude be louder than grief. Because every second of love we've shared is a victory. Friend, if this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you walked this path with someone? What moments taught you the most about love and letting go? Let's support each other here. And if this video brought you comfort, consider liking or sharing it with someone who might need it too. Remember, life isn't measured in years, but in the moments that take our breath away. Here's to cherishing every single one. Warm smile, slight pause, uplifting background music swells softly. Till next time, take care of each other and yourselves.